I'm happy to see adults as well. I see my 4 dogs and my husband and my daughter, and that's it. So it's good to see people outside of that. Today we're going to talk about the recording options in PowerPoint, and we have the wonderful crew, Carmen and Ophelia. They're here as well, and they will be answering questions in the chat related to the topic for this 30 minutes, which is recording options in PowerPoint. So these webinars are very focused and short on those specific topics. So we want to keep that focus on the topics that we're on so that we can provide you with the right resources and the right answers for the questions that you ask. So if you kind of keep you're directed to whatever it is that we're talking about for those 30 minutes. And today, again, in this case, it is the recording options that we have in PowerPoint. So I'm actually going to turn my camera off so that it doesn't take away from my bandwidth when I start sharing my screen. And I've been having some internet trouble. So give me a second. See, I froze.
From you, Michelle, there's a little bit of a muffle from the sound.
Okay, is that better? I turned the camera off.
Yeah,
see, too many things running. So I'm gonna share my screen with you, and if you want to follow along, you can open up PowerPoint, just regular old PowerPoint in the desktop. You can open up PowerPoint so that you're able to kind of follow along with me. But the only thing is, when you're following along, you're going to have to be able to switch between the Teams meeting and the PowerPoint app. And how you're going to do that is looking at the bottom taskbar and just clicking on, I'm going to show it to you right now. So let me share my screen. Hopefully everything shares okay without me being kicked out again. Okay, you should be able to see my screen. Whoa, come on. There's something that and sorry, I'm going to transition to here. Okay, great. All right, so if you see what I'm doing, I'm actually clicking between the meeting, which is right here in my bottom right, and then the actual app. And so on my taskbar down here, I can just click between the meeting and the PowerPoint. I just have to make sure that I'm clicking between the two down here at the bottom. Okay, so that's how, if you want to follow along, you're able to follow along. So click in between the meeting and the PowerPoint. So just right down here at the bottom. Okay, so today's agenda, we're going to talk about these things that you see, these 8 things, how to add the recording tab to PowerPoint. That's the most important thing. How to use the screen recording, the slide recording, saving as a show, saving to your device, uploading into Stream, and sharing the content with your students. So that's what we're going to talk about in terms of recording and giving access to your students. So I'm actually gonna X out of this one and just open up a blank PowerPoint. There we go. Okay, so the first thing that you have to do is make sure in your PowerPoint that you have this tab right here, this recording tab enabled. It has to show up in your ribbons. So to do that, you're gonna go to File, you're going to go to Options. Once the options open up, and of course, there's a little bit of a delay, you will click on, in the left-hand side, Customize Ribbon. Jeez, there is such a delay here. And once that Customize Ribbon opens up, you're going to find it here on the right-hand side. You can see that there is an option for recording. You just have to make sure that that option is checked off, it's ticked off. So when that little tick mark is there, it enables the ribbon so that the ribbon then shows up here in your PowerPoint. Okay, so we're going to explore what's under this recording ribbon. And actually, let me add a couple slides, just so we have some slides on the screen. All right, so I'm going to click here on recording, and you have these options here. And this is what we're going to explore in the next few minutes. So the first option that we could take a look at is recording slideshow. So I'm sure you have seen, PowerPoints with teachers talking over slides, teachers annotating over slides. Sometimes there are paid programs or screen recording programs that you may have to have a subscription to do that. But within PowerPoint, you have complete access to that with that recording tab. So I am choosing the option to just record from the beginning or record from the current slide. It depends on whichever, however you want to record. So I'm on slide 1, which is the beginning. So it doesn't quite matter. So what happens is it allows me to record voice and record, annotate on a slide. So if I select record, I have my content on the slide. I can also, oops, let me stop. So I forgot to do this. At the bottom right here, I can turn my camera on, where as I am recording and talking on each slide, the students will be able to see me here at the bottom right. So you could turn that off or on. It's absolutely up to you. If you want the students to see you while you're talking, you can certainly use that option. If you just want them to hear your voice, you can turn it off. So let's just do one with it and one without it so you can see. So I'm going to hit this record option. Okay, it counts me down. Hi, students. Welcome to this class. Today we're going to talk about learning about themes in literature. And I'm writing with my mouse so you could see. But if you actually had content on here, right, you would be able to highlight things, circle things. This is kind of like it's like a whiteboard. Like you have all your content and you're able to just highlight things as you're talking about it with the students. And as you are talking, it's recording you. So I'm going to press stop. Okay, so that particular slide has a recording. So I can actually move to the next slide to do another recording, or I can X out to view what that looks like. So I can see here, there's a recording here on this slide about learning, and this one, learning about themes. Okay, and if I actually play it in slideshow mode, hopefully it plays. Learning about themes in literature, and it's playing in slideshow mode on my other screen. So let me go back here just show you what it looks like here. Give it a second. So I'm going to replay it. Learning about themes in literature. And I'm writing with my mouse so you could see. But if you actually had content on here, right, you would be able to, you get the idea, right? So you're able to see the replay with the annotations, with the text, with everything that you have on your slide. And you're able to, proceed to the next slide. So if this was the final slide, then you can X out. You can always re-record. So I'm going to press stop. If I wanted to re-record because I didn't like how this turned out, I can certainly press the record button and re-record as well. Move on to the next slide. If I wanted to turn the camera off here, I can certainly do that, and I can just record, and it will just put a little voice thing on there. So thank you, students, for joining this meeting. Don't forget, oops, I pressed the button by accident. So I am going to re-record. That's the beauty of it. If you make a mistake, you can always go back and fix it. Thanks, students, for joining. Remember to complete your assignment and hit submit. Stop. It's there. And I can X out. And now I have a PowerPoint with content, and each slide has notes and different things that the students are going to need to guide them through this particular lesson. Now, why is that important? There was actually a link that I wanted to kind of review with you. Let me find that link. I don't this is the article, Ophelia and Carmen, that I'm trying to grab. That there's an article that talks about the the need for us to kind of switch how we are addressing um, teaching online lessons, and why we need to kind of use these web-based resources, these kind of techie resources with students, so that we're engaging them more. Because if we're doing a lesson where we're in front of the kids for 60 minutes and all we're doing is talking to them, that is not effective for them. So we have to have a different approach to teaching during remote learning that really engages the students. So I wanted to point out a few points from this article here that addresses that. And, oh, I had it here already loaded. See, that's my forgetfulness. So there were a few points here that I wanted to point out. Using high quality web-based video resources in assignments, it's not only going to promote teamwork, but the development of critical thinking skills. So instead of just sitting and talking to the students and not sharing content at all, we're not really doing them any justice doing that. We have to be able to engage them to be able to develop these skills. And utilizing the flipped classroom model during this time is really what's going to be helpful for the students. So instead of just watching us present content, they can watch a video that we record for them, so that when we actually meet during those online class meetings, we can really personalize that learning experience for them to, show them, walk them, scaffold them through those activities, to have that active engagement, to give them opportunities to collaborate, because during remote learning, they won't have other opportunities to see their classmates and collaborate, except for those class meetings. So when we are doing the recordings of the content for them to watch, beforehand, we are giving them opportunities to have these options during our class meetings: participation, frequent interaction and feedback, and connections. So that's what I wanted to share with you in terms of kind of shifting our thinking a little bit, so that we're able to see the purpose of why we need to record these lessons versus actually just sitting in front of the kids and for 60 minutes or 30 minutes or 20 minutes and just giving them the lesson. If we record it and provide it to them and then use the online meeting for collaborative engagement tasks, then that will be more useful and beneficial for the students. Okay, so you have your lesson, and the lesson has been recorded by you. You have all your comments, you have all your annotations, you're ready to go. What am I going to do now to share this resource with students? I have to be able to save it as a video and then upload it to get a link to be able to share it with students. Okay. But before we do that, there's one other option that I want to show you, besides recording slideshow. I want to show you the screen recording option. Screen recording is really terrific for those tutorials. You may want to do a quick walkthrough of a student with how to, how to work a problem out, how to access something online. So you create a screen recording. And so here, what I'm going to do is click screen recording. It's going to minimize the PowerPoint to whatever I have in the background. So what I have to do is make sure whatever I want to do the screen recording on is open, like the actual app is open. What I'm doing now is I'm just measuring the screen size that I want to record. So I want to record my whole screen, and that's what it does. So I'm selecting my screen recording area, basically. So I'm going to go to whatever it is that I want to do the screen recording on. Okay, so I want to record a screen recording on this particular article. So I am going to select record. It's going to give me a countdown. Okay, so once you access the article, I want you to take a look at some important points in the article, such as using high quality web-based resources and assignments, promotes teamwork, and develops the critical thinking skills of students. Additionally, I would like for you to pay close attention to the 4 key components of learning, especially during these remote learning times. We want to make sure students are participating in active engagement and collaboration through their participation in our online meetings, and they have frequent interaction and feedback, and they have connections to the real world experiences. So now that I'm done, doing my screen recording, I can press stop, pause. I can pause it if I wanted to, like, let's say, go to another app and then continue the recording. Okay, so that's why I would press pause. If I want to stop altogether, I click this little button here for stop. And then what that's going to do is it's going to take me back to the PowerPoint as soon as it loads, right? It takes a little time, it looks like. My computer is, again, really, really slowing down here. So once I press stop, come on. All right, let me. We'll try it again in case that, again, glitches happen. It's technology. That's what technology does. We just have to figure out, what to do next if we have an issue and not freak out. So what you're seeing here is the actual video recording. You notice it just popped it in on the slide. So it's the video recording of what I just went through. So I'm going to hit play for you. Okay, so once you access the article, I want you to take a look at some important points in the article, such as using high quality web-based resources and assignments, promotes teamwork, and develops the critical thinking skills of students. So you get the point, right? It is recording every single thing you're doing on that screen and everything you're saying, so you can truly walk students through a process here. You can help them, you can scaffold the learning for them. So before I go into how you're going to get this content to the students in a video format, I want you to think about what you saw. You saw screen recording, which is what we're looking at here, where it records all of your screen. You saw the recording of each slide in a presentation, where you can have your video turned on and off, where you can do the annotations with content on the slide. So I want you to think about how you can integrate that into your online class meetings, into what you already do. How can you use this to provide those engagement, flipped experiences for students? And I want you to think about it for a few seconds and share it in the chat. So I'll pause. I won't say anything, and I'll give you some time to think so that you can answer in the chat. And then after this, we'll talk about how to get it to the students. Carmen, Ophelia, do you guys want to share any of your experiences with this, or any ideas that you see popping up in the chat?
Yes, I wanted to share something that I had seen with my teachers. It was a math teacher. She was teaching statistics, and she already had a PowerPoint already made, but she wanted to provide that PowerPoint for students that were going to be absent. So again, same concept that we're doing now. We can give these students this ahead of time. So they were going to be absent. So she recorded and narrated over each slide, explaining what she was doing. And I believe it was classification or groups in statistics, different kind of classification. So again, she used her existing PowerPoint, recorded her screen while she was narrating each point on the slide. So that was really helpful. And then she basically shared it and sent it to the kids, and they had access to it.
Awesome. And think about your students. Remember, we talked about in remote learning one-on-one, compassion over content, right? All of our students have various needs various situations that's going on during this time. Some of them cannot attend every single online class meeting that we have. So how can we get information to them so they can still continue learning without being available when we want them to be available? Right. And so that this is an option that they have. They can use these videos that you create to participate in learning synchronously and still be able to participate in your class. Anything else from the chat, Carmen? Anything, I guess, from a secondary level standpoint that you want to share?
Well, there's a lot of great options that that have been put in the chat. I see one here, screen recording to demonstrate features of a website like ixl.com, because sometimes students get lost in the sauce and they don't quite know and they get frustrated. So these would be great ways to like show students where do they go first, where do they go second, how do they submit, especially secondary. And then I was also thinking of elementary school students. You know, my little boy is in 1st grade and he's not too big to be read to. So it would be a great time to read a story, you know, from the teacher, even though they have Mayan and things like that. But sometimes they want to hear from the teacher. And so it would be another great way for the teacher to interact with kids and do think alouds and all that, and then talk about the story later when they meet face to face.
I love it. And I just saw this comment, allow students to preview elements in a story in preparation for the discussion. That's a terrific example. So guys, yeah, I really want you to share how you feel you can do this so that you can learn from each other. And we can, you know, you can get these best practices from each other. So yes, definitely this is tying into the flipped classroom and being able to provide the content for kids beforehand so you can have that more interactive, personalized experience with them when you are meeting with them in the online environment. Okay, so now that you have some ideas of how you can use screen recording and slide recording, how do you get it to your students? How do I get it from PowerPoint into a team? Right? So this is what I'm going to show you next. So using the recording tab, if I scroll, obviously these there are other options here, like if I want to add a screenshot, if I want to add a video that's already done, if I want to adjust audio or add audio, record sound right on a slide, I have those options here under recording. But what I want to focus on is these two options here where it says save. So saving as a show is not a video. Saving as a show saves it as a type of a PowerPoint presentation that is automatic. So if you have recordings and the students click on the show itself, the file that's the PowerPoint show, and I'm going to show this to you. Let me save it here on my device. Oh, where's the desktop? Downloads. So I'm going to save it as a show. Come on. And I'm going to go here to my files. So goodness gracious, my computer, my screen is really, it probably needs to have an update. All right, so here, I think come on. About what it opened up on my other screen. So learning about themes in literature. Can't see it. It opened up on my other screen. But basically the show allows you to not have the students they don't have to click on play. They don't have to click on anything. It automatically loops the sound, loops the annotation. When you save it as a show, all the student is able to do is view it. It's kind of like a read-only presentation with everything kind of automatically done. All your sound, all your in your videos, your play button, it just is automatic. So that's one option. You have to save it as a show and then upload the show. But the better option is to really export it as a video. So you're going to click that option to export as a video. And as you can see here, there are lots of options for the video. There's a full HD option, ultra HD, HD. I typically go to standard because the larger your file, the longer it is going to take to render the file. So I typically do standard, and I keep it at all of these recommended settings. So using the recording timings and narration that is within the presentation. It's basing it off of what you have recorded on the slides, okay? And then I hit create video. So now that video file is gonna be saved to my device. So it's being saved to my device. Now, you have the option to upload the show, upload the video to your team. But I will say that the better way to do it is to integrate Microsoft Stream and think of Microsoft Stream as your secure version of YouTube that only people in Miami-Dade County will have access to. That's how you can think of Microsoft Stream. So once you have your video downloaded on your device, you're gonna go to office.com, sign in. This is going to Office 365 in the portal, sign in. And then once you sign in, okay, good, it took me there. I am going to find the Stream app icon in Office 365, and I'm going to click on Stream. And then basically what I'm going to do is just upload the video into Stream. And then through Stream, I can edit, I can trim the video, I can grab a link to the video, and then I will share that link in my team to students. There are also lots of fun features in Stream as well. Stream has interactive elements where you can embed a form, where you can have closed captioning and transcripts. So here I'm gonna click create. I'm gonna click upload video. And I am basically just grabbing the video from wherever on my computer I have that video saved. So for that video, I believe it was under downloads. And look, it's already done downloading. So I'm gonna click it and I'm gonna click oh. Oh, it's not, it's you see how it says 0 bytes, it's still rendering. Still rendering. So just pretend that I had a video here. I would have the video, I would upload it here, and once it's uploaded, under my content, you can go to my videos, and you'll be able to see whatever videos you have uploaded or have done through your online meetings. And then on the right-hand side where the ellipses are, here you can share. If you want to trim it, remember I said that you are able to trim a video. So you can grab the link here. Okay, copy the link. And then go into Team. I'm moving too fast for it. So go into Team. Oops. And go into your classroom. So let me just go here. And let's say I want to put the video link here. I can start a new conversation. Watch this video before the lesson. And I could put the link for the video here. And look, it automatically links it. And now we have the video for students to be able to watch it. Okay, so you can definitely link the video and make it available to the students by posting it. Or you can add it as a tab if you'd like, because if you put it as a tab, there is an option to connect to stream right here. So you could bring in content from your stream right there. So that would be the way. Another way to do it too, let's say you do your recording and you wanted to make it an assignment. You can actually click on assignments and you could create an assignment for this particular activity. Let me just do that one. Okay, create an assignment. And we're going to talk more about assignments. I believe assignments is next week. Create an assignment and add the video as a resource. So here where it says add resource, I can add the video as a resource. And then I can put whatever steps I want the students to complete for this assignment. So I'm going to add the video as a resource link. And then if I want to attach like questions that the student should answer after watching the video, anything, and then I make it an assignment, and now the students have a video with me walking them through some steps or a lesson, and now they have questions that they have to answer and submit as an assignment. Okay, but more about assignments will be discussed in a future webinar. I just wanted to show you that that's an option for using the videos as well. Okay. I want to show you one more thing in Stream. When I click the little edit button, selecting a language will allow you to kind of turn on closed captioning for that particular video. And so when you turn on closed captioning, that's where the transcript over here, that's where the transcripts happen. So everything that is said in the video, all the sound, you'll be able to have that audio.
This meeting is being recorded. A notification will go out to
all the audio transcripts will show up. Additionally, the students can turn on and off closed captions as they're watching the video. So when they click that link,
participants,
they're seeing all of this. And when you set that language on, the transcripts with whatever it is that you said will come up. This interactive component allows you to add a form. And this gets into a lot more. We could talk about this, and we actually have a training on forms next week, but it allows you to add a form and it embeds it right in the video. If you've ever used Edpuzzle or if you've ever used PlayPosit, it's very similar to that, where you can have forms embedded in a video for it to stop at certain points for students to answer questions so that they're not just watching an hour-long video. There is levels of interactivity in there. Okay, so I know that we've talked quite a bit. I am going to stop here, plus the 6:03. We're a little over time. So I'm going to stop there. Resources are going to be provided in the chat. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'll give like 1 minute or so if there's any burning questions that need to be answered. Anybody? Ophelia, Carmen, anything from the chat?
Michelle, yeah, I'm trying to get a clarification. Someone asked, Eileen asked, can you do this in Sway too? I'm not understanding. You can't do a recording in Sway, but I don't know what, I'm trying to get clarification.
Please clarify what you mean when you ask, can you do it in Sway? What are you trying to do in Sway?
Michelle?
Yeah.
Hi, thank you so much for the webinars. I'm wondering, our platform is Google Classrooms, and I noticed when I'm using closed captioning with live dialogue that the closed captioning is not so accurate. Is that different in this platform in terms of?
Yeah, it's very different. Yes, it's more intuitive in this platform because Microsoft does a lot of work with accessibility and making sure their languages are accurate and their captioning is accurate.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, hopefully the person with the Sway question, not really sure what you mean, so if you could clarify in the chat. Otherwise, 1 more minute for questions. Anybody else with questions or comments? Any ideas that come to mind with how to use this, feel free to unmute.
So, hi, Michelle. It's Audrey. So I see a question.
Oh, I'm having such a hard time hearing you. You may have to type your question in the chat. I'm sorry. I can't really
No,
hear.
that's not me.
Carmen?
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to answer a question. I'm muting everybody. Okay. So the question, and now I have to go back to the question. There was a question from somebody about Mac. So Mac and Microsoft, I'm a Mac user. Mac and Microsoft don't always get along. I would highly recommend if you're using Safari to stop using Safari and try using Chrome. Chrome works a little bit better with Microsoft. And also, you know, there are tutorials about using all of this with Mac, and I would look some of those up. Does anybody have any other questions?
Please guys, remember these webinars that we're doing, they're 30 minutes. It is not meant for you to be a master. We're introducing you to the tool. We're also helping you by providing resources at the end of the call, during the call. It's really up to you to utilize these resources to further explore these tools to see how it can fit into the needs of your teaching and meet the needs of your students. So you all have to kind of, you know, take this on and play with the tools. You won't break them, just play with them, okay?
Thank you, Michelle. I'm putting into the chat box one last time. This is the link to our YouTube channel. All of the videos, I'm sorry, all of the webinars that we have done so far will be available. This for today, it takes a day or so. It's 6 o'clock. I'm not going to do all this right now, but most of all of these webinars that we've done will be on the YouTube channel. You'll be able to watch them, stop and pause and play around. Also next week, 4 new webinars, same dream team, Carmen, Michelle, and Ophelia. Register on our website. That link is there as well. Okay, everybody? So dinner time, Miller time, whatever time it is for you, enjoy the rest of your evening. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Your question about how to save the chat, it'll be in the
You can't save a chat. What you can do is the chat will be available in the top left side of your team. When you click chat, just search for the title of this training. I believe it's under utilizing whiteboard, and you'll be able to see all of the chat information. If there's only something from the chat, like one thing from the chat that you want to save, you just have to copy and paste it. So you don't have to scroll all the way up and down.
And to the question, show one more time how to add recording options, that will be on the recording that you'll be able to go back to tomorrow and review, okay?
And there is a video in the resources that have been shared with you that has like a 1 minute, 30-second video of how to add that recording tab. So, you know, those resources that we're sharing is aligned to what we're covering in these sessions, okay? So please explore them.
Okay, everybody, have a wonderful evening. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week, Tuesday, 4:30. All new webinars. Go to our website to register. And make sure you put your email address in correctly. I get so many teachers saying, oh, I couldn't get in. That's because you put your email address in the wrong spot. So please make sure that you put your correct email address, double check it before you hit submit, and put your email address in the actual field that says email address. I thank you guys. See you later. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, Carmen.